Hi everybody, my name is Snake Eyes BP 1980 on the PlayStation 4 system and the YouTube channel. Actually today I'm not, right now I'm not actually home right now. I'm actually outside at Etna Green area. That's past Warsaw, and we're actually here to do some rooting for my dad or whatever on the 4K run or whatever. So hopefully you guys pretty much understand that this whole situation is just like there's a lot of runners. I mean, quite literally a lot of runners, and hopefully guys who my dad is, and hopefully I can find him again. He usually takes off once in a while. Last time I saw him, he was like at this tent. Again, he keeps moving around. So anyways, it's a nice day to being outside. So hopefully guys. Wow. So that's interesting. They got like different things going on here. Oh, there he is. Sorry about that. So
I'm hoping I can get this 4 miles down to 148.
Well, as soon as we bring the leader in, we're going to turn back and retrace. So hopefully we'll see you back there.
Yeah. Oh, well, hopefully he'll be in the front. Toward the front, I hope. Yeah. It's hard to tell.
last time
I was down there looking at those plaques that they're giving out. I was looking at that emblem, and the guy goes, "No, you got to go on down further." I said, "Why?" And he says, "You're younger than that, 60 and over." "No, I'll be 70 in August."
Well, I'm glad there are some of us 70-year-old people carrying up the Helen.
Now, I run 5 kilometers a day, 6 days a week.
Now you're making us feel bad.
Where are you from?
Columbia City. I was sitting, my mother-in-law passed away, and so at her funeral, my brother-in-law, who is a Brethren pastor, was sitting across from me, and the guy sitting next to me was also a Brethren pastor, and they were talking about the conferences that they go to, that they have a 5K event in it for the clergy there, just to see how fit they really are. And he was telling them how he always prepares the week before, hoping to finish faster than last place.
That's what the coffee shop should have.
Yeah. And so that's what he. And I said, "Oh, I do 5K. I do 5K a day, 6 days a week." And he says, "Yo, what?" I said, "I do 5K a day, 6 days a week." He goes, "You're crazy."
Yeah, all right.
And he says, and I said, "Oh, by the way, when I'm really at it, when I'm really on my game, I can do that 5K in a half an hour." He goes, "Yo, I hate you." I said, "That's the first time I ever had a clergyman tell me he hated me."
He meant that good.
No, I told him, I says, the story behind that whole thing is that 30 years into our marriage, my wife walked out and went back to her dad. She says, "I've had it with you." And I turned around and I says, "What's this all about, Lord?" He says, "It's not about you and her. I got her out of the way so that I can look you straight in the eye and tell you I don't like undisciplined Christians. And you are an undisciplined Christian. You need to spend a minimum of 15 minutes a day with me alone. And we'll give this a couple of weeks and we'll see if you stay with the discipline. Your marriage may still be saved." She said the last 10 years of our marriage was the best she ever had in her life. But from there it went on to walking. I walked 2 miles a day. I was doing 2 miles a day, 6 days a week, until just shortly after my wife passed, I realized my shirt isn't nearly as wet as it was, and I was a speed walker. And so I was walking along, almost a run, and realizing my shirt was wet, and I heard somebody talk about a 5K event. So in July of 2013, I started the 5K events. And I've been in 35 of them since. Well, this is my 35th one.
Yeah.
My 35th one. I have finished first in my age group 24 out of 34 times.
You're supposed to be giving
20,
us.
give it back. 23 out of 34. I was hoping to get another first place today, but I finished second to a guy from Fort Wayne. And he's supposed to show up here and take the other trophy away from me too. So I don't care. I said whatever God's will for it is, that's the way it's going to be. And I prayed to him this morning. I says, you know, whatever would honor, if it would honor you, if it would honor you that I would win it, that's fine. If it would honor you that I finish last place, that's fine with me too. Because I'm yours and you're mine, and I'm doing it, you know. Humble me if necessary, exalt me if necessary, whatever, it's up to you, because you're in charge.
Can you run this? I mean, do you think you can set a time for running this after you already ran one today?
Yeah, I think I can do as fast as I did there.
We're
Well,
hoping.
because there have been times when I've run and walked 2 5Ks a day during my exercising. So this is actually just another day of exercise. I won't do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because he says tomorrow's a day of rest.
Not only that, but it's also the Sabbath. You don't want to dishonor that.
Yeah.
But I have done it on a Sunday because there are churches that have them too. I went to one. There's a church that had one before the church service.
Maybe we wouldn't have such lethargic customers if we would everybody go out and walk for 2 miles before they had coffee.
Dick Long does.
Well, of course he does. Darcy Whetstone walks 10 miles every day.
Well, I timed mine. I tell him, I said, Dr. Oz says, you know who he is,
Yep.
okay, that all walking is good. But the faster the better, because if you ain't sweating, you're not doing your heart any good. And he's a cardiologist, so I figured he must know what he's talking about.
So basically now you got some type of understanding about somewhat of my family. So hopefully you guys enjoy the content and stuff like that. Hopefully you guys do come back and see me next time. Until then, bye for now.